My mother always told me to be kind to others. I should not judge them by their appearance, because appearances can be deceiving. But I was just 20 years old and did not understand what she meant. One day, while I was at the recruitment office, I met a woman who changed everything for me. She showed me that there are some people in this world who have really gone through a lot of hardships, but they still manage to smile despite it all. This video will show you how the most important person in the room can sometimes go unnoticed, so make sure to watch until the end. It was just an ordinary day at the recruitment office where I worked as a clerk. The door opened and a group of men entered. They were led by a stern-looking man with silver epaulets on his shoulders, clearly a high-ranking officer. He was followed by 2 other officers and 3 soldiers whose uniforms were different from the ones we wore. Their jackets were more worn out and their insignia looked older. They also had these little patches sewn onto their uniforms. I knew those patches. They indicated that those soldiers had been on multiple deployments. And when soldiers are deployed, they're usually exposed to harsh conditions. I wonder if that's why their uniforms were in such bad shape. The leading officer approached my desk and introduced himself as a Brigadier General. He explained that he and his group were there to observe a training exercise we were preparing for. I helped them fill out the necessary paperwork. While I processed their information, one of the officers took a closer look at my name tag. "So you're the new guy, huh? Just remember you're talking to a Brigadier General." "Yes, sir." "I know who you are, sir," I replied, trying to sound confident. But I couldn't help but think to myself, who does this guy think he is? Does he really expect me to be intimidated by his shiny stars? After filling out the paperwork, the Brigadier General asked for a map of the training ground so he could plan the best observation points for the upcoming exercise. "I want to see the entire training process, especially the part where the new recruits are tested," he said. With a wave of his hand, he dismissed his companions and instructed them to get ready for the exercise. Then he turned back to me and said, "Show me where I need to go." Couldn't believe how rude he was being. Was he trying to intimidate me? I knew I should take him to the place he wanted to go, but I decided to teach him a lesson. "I'm sorry, sir, but the officer in charge isn't here right now. Would you like me to tell him you stopped by?" I asked sarcastically. "What did you say?" he asked, his face turning red with anger. At that moment, I saw the 3 soldiers stifling their laughter behind their hands. It was too much for me, and I started laughing too. When the Brigadier General realized I wasn't taking him seriously, he stood up, walked around my desk, and got very close to my face. "Listen here, boy. I don't appreciate your disrespectful attitude. Do you understand that?" he yelled. I didn't back down. "I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not scared of you or your fancy stars. If you want something, just ask for it." His eyes widened in surprise because he probably wasn't used to someone talking back to him. Before he could respond, one of the soldiers burst out laughing, and the others quickly followed. It was clear that they found my interaction with the Brigadier General hilarious. Okay, I get it. You win," I said, raising my hands in surrender. I apologized to him and asked again where he wanted to go. As I led him out of the building, the soldiers whispered something to each other and kept glancing at me. I couldn't help but wonder what they were saying. When we reached the observation point, the Brigadier General asked, "Where are the others? We're supposed to observe the new recruits, right?" "Well, they'll be here soon, sir," I said with a smile. I knew exactly which group he was talking about. Those new recruits were no match for our team. They'd struggle with even the simplest tasks. The Brigadier General didn't seem convinced, but before he could question me further, the recruits arrived. As I watched them walk toward us, I noticed that one of the women was wearing a jacket over her uniform. I couldn't help but laugh. I thought it was ridiculous for her to wear a jacket since the weather was warm and everyone else was in just their uniforms. I didn't realize that it was more than just a jacket until she took it off. Underneath, she had one of those vests that indicate military rank. I leaned over to the Brigadier General and whispered, "You know, someone's trying to hide something under that vest." He looked in the direction I was pointing, and his expression suddenly changed. He straightened his posture and saluted the woman. "Good morning, Major. I didn't expect to see you here," he said respectfully. She returned the salute and said, "Just making sure everything's going according to plan, sir." After they exchanged a few more words, the Major turned to me and said, "So you must be the clerk, right? It's the one who caused quite a scene this morning?" I immediately apologized for my behavior, but she stopped me with a raised hand. "Don't worry about it. Your reaction was a good reality check for me. Sometimes I forget what it's like to be young and full of energy. Reminds me of myself when I was a young recruit." Then she did something that completely shocked me. She took off her cap and revealed that she was bald. I couldn't help but stare at her, and I'm sure my jaw dropped. "You don't have to hide it anymore, do you, Major?" I asked. She nodded. "Thank you. Feels good to hear that. You're the first person in a long time who hasn't reacted negatively when they saw my baldness." That's when I noticed something strange on her uniform. She had a patch on her sleeve that I had seen before, but I couldn't remember where. It looked like a triangle with a cross inside it. Suddenly it clicked. Those are the patches they put on soldiers who serve in special forces. It means that this woman has done some really dangerous missions. That explained why her uniform was worn out. It wasn't just from being on deployment. She had probably been in some tough situations. I looked at her and the Brigadier General and realized that they both had the same patch on their uniforms. "Do you guys know each other?" I asked. They looked at me, surprised that I hadn't noticed earlier. "Of course we know each other," the Brigadier General said. "We served together in special forces. By the way, this is my wife, Major Evelyn Taylor." "Nice to meet you, Major," I said. The whole situation made me feel a bit uncomfortable. I had been rude to a decorated war hero, and I felt terrible about it. The Major must have sensed my awkwardness because she said, "Hey, don't worry about it. I know you didn't mean it. It's clear that you're a good guy who just needs a little guidance sometimes." She turned to the Brigadier General and said, "And speaking of guidance, I think it's time to get to work. Right, sir?" The Brigadier General nodded, and they both headed towards the training area. I looked at them and suddenly felt a surge of inspiration. Maybe I should consider joining the army. As I watched them walk away, I realized that I had learned a valuable lesson that day. Judging someone by their appearance or their rank can lead to disrespect and humiliation. It doesn't matter if someone is a high-ranking officer or a soldier in a worn-out uniform. We should treat everyone with kindness and respect because we never know what they may have been through or what they are currently facing. The Major's reaction to my surprise about her baldness showed me that honesty and understanding are essential in building connections with others. I learned that physical appearances can be deceiving, and that people should not be underestimated based on their looks. Thank you for watching the story of They Insulted Her Worn Uniform until a Brigadier General read the unit tag. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more inspiring stories. See you next time.